And let me get started on, part 3, which is about the suffix. So the suffix appears at the end of the word, whereas a prefix is at the beginning of a word. But a suffix can serve the same functions as a prefix in that it can give a root a more precise meaning. So here's blast, which means immature, and here's an immature lymphocyte. This is particularly important because there are some cancers where lymphoblasts are the predominant cell. Ectomy is the removal of a structure through surgery. Genesis and genic mean the beginning, and you can see where the word comes from. It comes from the first book of the Bible. Something that's carcinogenic is something which will lead to cancer. Gram is one I've mentioned before. I talked about myograms, cardiograms, there's also encephalograms. Gram is the recording by a medical instrument. And this is another example, and you may want this procedure done if there's a risk of the blood vessel being blocked. And commonly one which could be examined, for example, is the carotid artery. Itis, you will have seen before. What you may not realize is itis just means inflammation. And again, this will be what inflammation is something which is covered in your anatomy and physiology resources. It doesn't mean infection, it means inflammation in general, though of course anyone who has an infection may experience inflammation. And here's an unusual example of inflammation. It's inflammation of the testes, the testicles. And yes, this is the medical term we use for this region because the testicles in the scrotum look like the bulb of an orchid. Logy is the study of something, and nephrology is the study of the kidneys. But here's another example where it's got a specific root, where nephro is the root, one of the roots we use for the kidneys. Megaly means big, so this is a large liver. And again, you'll see another one of those special roots. Instead of liver, we use hepato. Oma is for a tumor. Tomy is to cut or incise. Sorry about the rather grisly example. Another example is anatomy, which is the study of the body, and it relates to not having to cut things, looking at the body intact. Pathy is relates to disease, and so you can see that pathy can be both a suffix, but it can also be a prefix like pathogenic, the cause of disease. Penia is a shortage. Plasty is this. And that's why a plastic surgeon is called a plastic surgeon. It's not because they insert plastic bits into people to replace the bits that they have lost. It's that they perform these plasty type surgical reconstructions. And that's a nose job, fixing up somebody's nose, say it's been broken very badly. Because rhino is one of the roots we use for nose. And that will do for this part. It's a short one. Last one, as I keep on promising you, I'll go through specific roots which relate to particular parts of the body.